we leave, I want to talk about this.
Okay.
You saw it yesterday. Did you see the AEW Special 1.0 event for AEW games?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the whole thing. Yep.
So did
I
I.
waited like 40 minutes on it, but I saw it.
I I did the reaction to it. You guys can check out my reaction on NC Studios on the Fat React. It doing pretty well. We had 225 views right now, so I thought it was a dope event. So I got to react to the whole event, and this event right here, we are learning what's coming up for the AEW games, and now not only did we have the whole Steve Jobs presentation with Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Britt Baker, and what's the referee's name?
Aubrey Edwards.
Aubrey Edwards. We got 3 different AEW games coming, 2 mobile games and 1 console game. And I figure right now on the podcast, it's what a better place to talk about it. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
They revealed. Okay, I'll say the best for last. So they revealed a mobile game. I'm not into mobile games at all. Are you into mobile games?
I think the last mobile game I played was like the Power Rangers. I forgot what it was.
Legacy Wars.
Yeah.
Now don't get Legacy Wars has a great roster. I just don't like the what is it? I'm not into the mobile fighting games, especially it's like you can't take your part in nothing like that. But we got 2 mobile games coming, and one of them is called AEW Elite General Manager. So it's a general manager mode on the cell phone, which as a mobile game I can't get mad at because everybody. Since every time you hear about 2K every year, everybody's been asking general manager mode. I want general manager mode. And me personally, I'm like, yeah, I would like to see it back if they change some things to it. But when I go back and play SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, 2008, 2006 when the general manager mode is on there, I'm like, all right, it could be fun, but there's stuff that got to be changed to it because I don't want the same old general manager mode because that'll be boring.
Yeah.
That'll be, I'm like, I don't think people truly realize that general manager mode to me didn't age well. And I understand what they were trying to do with universe mode, but it's like, okay, when you do general manager mode, I want to feel like the manager. I want to be able to pick the manager, pick the show. I want to do the WWE draft. And I want to be able to, remember I said that it should be a ratings thing. Like, if your show is not performing at the top of you can do, you have to make sure you had to boost those ratings. And then you got to also think, like, how can you make it appeasing for people to play or to be for content creators? Like, how do you play that to show somebody on YouTube? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but now it being a mobile game for AEW, and it's showing like you set up the matches, you pay the superstars, you have a budget, and I'm like, maybe General Manager does work better as a mobile game. What do you think?
I still would like this feature to be I would still like this feature to be in the game though.
I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, it should be more obviously. It should be more elaborate on a console game.
Yeah, she would have more options.
Yeah, more options, more things to do. Say I think that would truly be cool. And I'm curious to see but I think it would be a good pastime when you phone. Like I said, I'm not into mobile games. When it comes to handheld stuff, I play my Switch. I don't play mobile any games anymore. The only mobile game I really played was Subway Surfer.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the only one I really play. I'm just not into the all touch. I want my buttons. I'd rather have my Nintendo Switch or my Switch Lite and play handheld stuff. But that's not the only mobile game that's coming. We also have a mobile game called AEW Casino Double or Nothing. So obviously, Double or Nothing is their casino-based pay-per-view. We got the chips and everything like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, a gambling style game on the phone, I can actually get with that.
That seems like such a Cody Rhodes thing.
It really do. I'm like, first of all, now the whole trailer for it was dope. So, I mean, I like it. Now, obviously, I don't think it's going to be like FanDuel or, where you can actually do like legit bets on AEW, which would be kind of dope though, wouldn't it?
It would be cool, but like one thing I actually liked about this whole event. So one, the Steve Jobs, they all came out of Steve Jobs and all, but
yeah,
the weird mention of Tony Khan, it's funny though.
TK?
Yeah, see, yeah. I talked to my boss, my boss, Tony Khan, TK.
Yeah.
He might have heard of him. And then like the next person to come out, I said, hey, boss, TK, hey, you might have heard of him. And then Britt Baker was like, yeah, so I told my boss, TK, Tony Khan, Tony Khan. And then Cody came out, and Cody was like, I want to talk about somebody which hasn't been mentioned tonight. My boss, TK, Tony Khan. I don't know if you heard about him. It's like the whole thing was just funny.
I think that was dope. Like I said, I liked the way they was doing that. And well, the good news is this casino game is coming this winter. Yeah. So
it's not my thing, but it's still cool.
I mean, I'm willing to try. I think it's gonna be like play gambling. Now, if you could do some real gambling with it, that may be interesting.
Now, what if they try to make it like how the people do fantasy draft? It's like you start and you set somebody for the week. That'd be weird.
But that would be cool though. Like
you start Darby Allin and he get destroyed.
Yeah, like it's like you got. But see, the only thing about fantasy wrestling is that you got to have like a huge roster. So that means now. I mean, I'm not saying AEW don't have a huge roster, obviously, but obviously they only got one show, and then they got AEW Dark, and so you got to really be invested in all them shows. So it's probably this. If you got to probably pick like a team of 5 or maybe 10 superstars.
I would say like 5 or 6.
Yeah, and then
5 and like one wild card or something.
Yeah, so whatever you start with, those are the ones that are going to give you the points each week, and then you'll see. So it's like, okay, obviously everybody, because if everybody's going to be playing, or you may have like, or maybe the pool will be only like 10.
Somebody going to end up getting like Peter Avalon or something.
Yeah, because you got to think when it comes to the top pick. If you look at all the, you can probably the top guys, like the top guys in AEW are it's probably about 7 of them. You got Moxley,
yeah, more or less.
You got Moxley, you got Omega, you got Jericho, you got Hangman. You got like, see, I don't know if Brian Cage would consider a top guy that you would get in the first round. In my opinion, like. I mean, Cody would definitely be a top guy. The Young Bucks, like those are all first round picks to me. And then, and then after that, it'll be like, okay, so then we'll go lower down the card to like the Lucha Bros, or so that'll be like, those would be Orange Cassidy would be in your second round, and stuff like that. Then your third round will probably be your Will Hobbs and stuff like that. So it all depends. It truly all depends.
Yeah, it depends on how you do it. It depends on how they do it as well.
Yeah, so like I said, we didn't really get any news on what the game stuff is going to be, or the casino stuff is going to be. But it's time to get to the main thing, and the main thing is the console game, the AEW game. I don't know what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's going to be called AEW Dynamite. Probably is. But it's going to be...
I don't think it's going to be called AEW Dynamite. I think it might be called like... I think it's going to have like a name, like No Mercy, like an actual name.
It probably was. I mean, but it should have a name of something that represents AEW. So unless you want to call it AEW All Out, AEW All In.
Maybe AEW All... Yeah, maybe All In. Who knows?
Because they are looking to make the best wrestling game of all, and then they have gotten the No Mercy director. I cannot pronounce this man's name.
Go to Sun.
There you go. Okay. With that being said, they already are saying that they want the Yorks who left 2K last year, and we see with the abysmal we got with 2K20, has now come to work on this AEW game. I think
Did
that's
they
what
just leave 2K only last year?
Yes, they left.
Wow.
I know they've been with them for years.
I thought they left like when they got 2K.
No, they were still working with them, and they just left.
Okay.
That's why the game was so bullshit bad, because 2K had to build it from the ground up, and it was lacking so much stuff. So now they were going to this AEW game, and now they showed footage of it of Kenny Omega going up against Jericho. However, they said this is not going to be the final build of the game yet, but they did a lot of this they showed already in the trailer. One they showed that it was more of like an arcadey style game. Then they showed that you can have intergender matches, because Sheeta came out and attacked Omega. It gave him a Falcon's Arrow. And I think because Kenny Omega loves No Mercy so much, his friend Xavier Woods loved WrestleMania 2000 so much, and those were the best N64 games, and you could put WCW versus NWO Revenge on there. Those were the best wrestling games that we had in N64, and I think that they want to go back to a place where you can have fun with wrestling games again. And I agree. You just want to play with your friends and just have fun playing a wrestling game again. And now, and once again, obviously, if they take with the director, they take the no mercy approach. Obviously, with more updated graphics and more updated moves. Because so your thoughts on this console game? They said it's going to be on next gen and current gen. So that means we're going to get a PS4 version, an Xbox One version. Maybe a Nintendo Switch version, not sure, and a PS5 version and a Xbox Series X version. So, your thoughts on that?
For one, I gotta say I like the graphics. I know people say, "Oh, the graphics is not the same as WWE," but I don't think they want to emulate the WWE graphics, like the photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to get it as close as they can, but make they rather focus on gameplay than graphics. WWE only focus on graphics, and they have crappy gameplay.
Yeah, well, I think it's two different kinds, and I think that it goes by company, and it looks like when they got the guy from No Mercy, and you can tell by the way. First of all, that's not the final build of the game, so they already said that. Most those things can obviously change, and two, I think they're going for the more arcadey style game.
Yeah.
And like I said, when people, if the director from No Mercy is working on this, he's going to go for the more realistic approach with the graphics. But I really think it's going to feel like WrestleMania from PS3. Remember that game, Legends of WrestleMania?
Okay.
I think.
Okay. The graphics do look like that game.
Yeah, I'm not saying the gameplay gonna be like that, but I'm just saying. But I think that's what they're gonna do with Let's WrestleMania. Which now, the way I look at it, this is actually great news, because that means that puts 2021 in a battlefield next year. That means 4 wrestling games are coming out next year.
I'll probably get 2 of them.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because it'll bring up competition.
Yeah.
And that way, because it ain't like people at 2K like, I don't know what AEW's doing. These game developers know where the competition is at. And that means 2K got to bring their A game, because one, you missed a year. And now you got to bring your A game to really get the fans back on track. Because the difference here now is that you got 3 other wrestling games coming out. One, AEW is probably coming out next year, late next year. Then you got the Virtual Basement game. I don't know what that is, but
it's called the Wrestling Code or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of game it's gonna play like. And then you also have.
No, it's supposed to be like next gen. Graphics look good.
Okay.
From what they've shown.
And then you have, for the old school heads, the Retromania game that's coming out.
Yep.
And like I said, because it was supposed to come out this year, but it didn't. So now that leaves 3 different wrestling games where they are fresh, they are brand new, and nobody has played them yet. And 2K has already missed a year after a failure game. That means.
And I think, by the way, AEW, I think they're going to have their game to where you only buy one game. They might have download DLC. I think this might be one of those type of games. They might have a DLC or something maybe every month or something, like somebody change their hair or get a tattoo or something.
Did they keep the roster updated?
Yeah, I think they might do it like that.
What now?
They don't.
I
was gonna say I don't think they have enough to just be doing it every year like WWE does, just so you can buy the new game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did say they want it to be fun and playable, so I think they want to have a game where you just have fun playing it, rather than just waiting for the next one to come out and you're done playing it after like 5 months or 2 months.
Now, in your opinion, we've been playing wrestling games for years. What will keep you interested in a wrestling game, to be honest with you?
Replayability. Like, when I'm playing the WWE games, I'm like bored when I'm playing them by myself. Like, if you're not playing with nobody, they're kind of boring to me.
But I understand that I'm saying, but what would you want to put, like, in this AEW game? Okay, of course the gameplay gotta be fun, but it's like, what do you gotta see? Because if you play AEW by yourself, would you want to keep doing that? Or like, if you pop in,
if I'm able to do ridiculous things, then yes.
If you pop in No Mercy right now, it's like, oh, I'm playing No Mercy. How long would you play No Mercy?
For a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be on that joint too, but I also want to play with somebody. So I'm saying, so what does this game have to deliver to you that will make you want to play for a while?
Replayability, wrestling, and ridiculousness. Like, No Mercy and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and all them was fun because you got to jump off a building and just do stuff that just is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Just ridiculous stuff.
I would like to do ridiculous stuff, but I also want something like the one thing about No Mercy that I liked is that instead of DLC and you had to wait a month to download the characters, or the case may be, they had the SmackDown Hotel. And you had to go, and it's like, man, if I want to complete The Godfather, because he was the good father in that game, I got to buy the hat and cane, I got to buy the walk, you know what I'm saying, I got to do all that stuff to get the moves, but then I had to go through different, I like how each championship had its own story. That's one thing that I like. I like that if I'm going down the path for the WWE Championship, that path is different from the Intercontinental, from the hardcore to the tag team. So with AEW, it's like, okay, we got the AEW Championship, the TNT Championship, the Tag Team Championships, especially when they're so big on tag team wrestling, and we have the AEW Women's Championship. Like, I would like to play a story or a season going through all those championships. You know what I'm saying? I want to play, AEW. I would like to try out all these different. I want them to, don't discriminate. Put all the characters in there and try them out in different matches. And now since they got in the gender stuff, like, I'm not trying to be funny here or be insultful or hateful or anything like that. But like, wouldn't it be cool to see like Sunny Kiss versus Brandy Rose?
Yeah, I mean, you could be able to do that in that game, though.
Yeah, or Sunny Kiss versus Nyla Rose, whatever the case may be. It's just like, I like to see those mix, or Nyla Rose taking on Brian Cage. I like to see those kind of interaction and that kind of crazy stuff. And long as the gameplay, like he just said, but he says, I want it to be a game that's easy to pick up but hard to master. So
that is what he said.
Yeah, so that right there, I'm looking at it like, okay, because sometimes people, it's hard to pick up 2K, but it's easy to master. Now I've mastered 2K like that, but for some people, it's hard. It's hard to pick up that game. So now,
I'm assuming the button system is gonna be crazy. Then
I'm assuming the button system will probably be more arcadey like No Mercy, but it took a while to master No Mercy.
Kenny Omega like, basically.
Is that, yeah? I mean, because it's hard. It was hard to master No Mercy. It was easy to pick it up, but it's just like, okay, the hard grapple, the strong grapple. The only one thing I didn't like about No Mercy was the blocking. I did not like the block. Like, you know, you stick your chest out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, we need a better blocking system than that. But like I said, it was still fun. It's like it's just, I think it excites me because it makes the battlefield really interesting next year, because you want to see what WrestleMania is going to do. You want to see what Virtual Basement is going to do, and then everybody wants to see what 2K is going to do.
I mean, I don't really think they want to see what 2K is going to do. I think they just want to see, can they compete.
Yeah, as I say, 2K is basically the wall now, to the point, because everybody knows 2K is going to be the simulation-based wrestling game, where the AEW game is going to be the arcade kind of game. And if they can compete, and honestly, if I'm 2K, it's not just the game I got to come out the back with. I got to come out the back with social media, commercials, promotion. Like, you have to do it, because remember last year
they ain't getting nothing.
We barely got anything, and then we was getting stuff on social media. They was revealing roster members on social media. Then they were talking about this big commercial that they're going to do with all the superstars and legends, like they did for the NFL 100, which was nothing like it. And I was like, y'all could have did a lot better than that. Like, they gotta go out their way and start in May of next year, of 2021, and be like, all right, this is the countdown to 2K21. Starting in May, we reveal that the game's coming out. And then June we get who's on the cover, and then July we get the trailer, and then August we get the roster reveal, and then September we get gameplay. October the game comes out, or November, and that way it can compete, because that means AEW Games on YouTube is going to be doing the same thing. As soon as they get news, as soon as they get a trailer, as soon as they get a roster reveal, you know what I'm saying, it should be
I wonder what their roster reveal would look like. That'd be crazy.
I would love to see what AEW's roster reveal look like, because they probably would do it on their YouTube channel. And I'm like, I just hope that everybody gets a chance to shine. Like, this should be a chance to put literally everybody in the game. It should have over 100 people on there. And then the question is,
I
like,
don't want to see like some of the jobbers that they use for the pandemic.
Such as, what you mean, like
Ben Carter.
Okay. I understand it though, but I mean, I want to see everybody from the top, from John Moxley to everybody to like Joey Janela.
Yeah.
But,
and they only work one day a week, so they should be able to mocap their own entrance.
Exactly. So yeah, mocap, get some voiceovers if they're trying to do a story or something like that. Because obviously you can take the old elements from No Mercy, but you got to bring in some of the new elements also. People don't want a Pokemon text base kind of season mode when you got superstars that actually can do some talking and do some promos. And even though it's arcadic, I still want to wrestle like Kenny Omega. I still want to wrestle like MJF. I still want to wrestle like, Warlow. I still want to do all those crazy Luchasaurus things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I know they're probably gonna mocap the entrance. Do you think they're gonna mocap their moves and movements and stuff too?
I think they are, because they showed, you know how when you're displaying a move in 2K, and they showed the little green guys and stuff. They showed that for the Young Bucks Meltzer driver.
That could have been anybody though.
It could have been. I'm just saying, but I mean, like,
now
I don't see why not.
Now I will say, when they showed the Hikaru Shida footage, when she bounced off the ropes, that's how she bounces off the ropes in real life. And when Omega, what did he do? He like countered Jericho, something he did.
Yeah.
It's like how Omega counters in real life, where he goes under and he got like it's like he like turned off his speed. I don't know how.
Yes, I mean, because that's how he countered the Judas Effect back elbow, and I was like, he slid underneath that thing. I was like, I like that. I hope everybody doesn't do that, but that's what something Kenny Omega would do.
Yeah, so if they have player-like movements coming back, I love that. Like, if Cody's in the ring and he randomly just flexes and kisses his bicep, or, how Brock Lesnar used to be in the ring with before he throw a clothesline.
Yeah,
it's just stance. Yeah,
and
if they have player stances, then I would love that.
I also think that AEW and the name is going to sell itself.
Yeah,
it's going to sell itself, and that's one thing it got going forward. That's why I'm saying 2K's back's against the wall, and once again, Vince McMahon is going to have to like understand that, because I'm pretty sure they're going to Vince right now and Triple H and like, look, if y'all want to beat AEW in the gaming front, because remember 2K lost them a lot of money last year.
Definitely did.
2K, look, it to the point where it pissed Vince off, and he was trying to get into the meetings. I'm like, no, bro, this is not your area. Vince McMahon, what you gotta do is you got to let it be easy. In other words, if they say, look, I think the fans will like this, and Vince is like, well, that's not on WWE TV. I'm like, but say if the fans want a Buried Alive match, right? Mm-hmm. Or they want an Inferno match to come back. Mm-hmm. Or they want a new casket match, or they want the War Games match. And Vince is like, well, we don't show those matches on TV because we're some company. I'm like, bruh, you're in the fight of your life right now. You should. That shouldn't
I don't
be.
think Vince cares about the video games as much as like other people.
No, but see, but the thing is, Vince approves all this shit. So if 2K tries to put certain
if they try to do something different, he don't care if the change bringing him more money. He don't care. Like if the change helps out the video game.
No. At first he don't, but after the disaster of 2K20, now when like I say, after 2K20 lost him so much money, and especially on the video game front, and he lost his XFL, when 2K comes back to him and Triple H this year, he's going to take it differently. In other words, it may be on a thing like, do whatever you got to do to be because even if he don't talk to the 2K guys, I'm pretty sure Triple H knows that, like, yo, shit, AEW got a game on the horizon that's going to compete with us, and we got to get ahead of this thing and try to make this the best. Because AEW's already saying we're calling this the best wrestling game ever. Mm-hmm. That's some ballsy shit to say. And I'm like,
I think they can do it.
Oh, obviously, absolutely. I think hands down they can do it, but it's still some ballsy shit to say. And it just saying, if I'm working for 2K or I'm working for WWE, I'm like, oh my god, I'm scared right now. I'm scared. It ain't like we came off a successful 2K game, and it ain't like we came off like the only 2K games that I like is 2K19 and 2K14. But other than that, we ain't come off of nothing. And if I was 2K right now, I'd be like, look, if they playing No Mercy, I'm playing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah, well, I mean, people have literally been asking for a game like that, and literally 2K every year says no. It's like, we want a fun game that we can replay. 2K says no. You get what we give you.
Yep, and then now the forums came out, and they had that whole thing earlier this year talk about ask fans what y'all want to see in 2K22, and the whole chat closes at, was it May 22nd? So, of course, they got thousands of fucking people already in there of what they want to see. So, hopefully that means they'll listen. But all I know is it's going to be some competition next year, and I can't wait to see it. The only thing I wish a game that will get this kind of competition is Madden. I'm so sick of Madden. And I'm like, I was hoping that 2K will come back and give a football game, or we can get, I was hoping EA will come back with like Street and do like.
I mean, I don't think nobody. Madden is like the only, like nobody really cares. Like it ain't no other league that's gonna come and be like, yeah, we the official football.
But I'm just saying, but remember back in the day, you had Madden, you had ESPN 2K, and then you had NFL Blitz. Like you had different football games.
Now I don't think nobody else is gonna be like the official NFL game.
Yeah, I know, but that's why Madden sucks every year. There's no competition to pull from. So I'm like, so hopefully with the next gen, with the PS5 coming out, what came out this past Thursday, but when we're recording this, it obviously hasn't come out yet. So I'm just saying.